Well, welcome to another episode of the Esports Classroom Podcast. And this time we have our first college esports player. Again, we're trying to talk to everybody connected to esports, high school, college, and everything in between. So, Draven, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, where you're at, and what you do with esports.
So my name is Draven Graves. I am the team captain of our Mario Kart roster here at MSU West Plains. That's Missouri State University West Plains. I sometimes have to clarify. I'm from
Yep.
Mississippi. When I told them I was going to MSU, they got all excited thinking it was Mississippi State. And if you look up MSU, the first thing that pops up in the search bar is Michigan State. So Missouri State University West Plains. Um, I have been our team captain for this will be 1.5 years. I'm a third year student in college because I switched my degree. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just finished nationals this last semester. Placed fifth nationally, so I'm pretty happy. Let's say I started my esports in high school, or not high school, in college, because there's no high school programs around here. I think we have one in Bakersfield and one in Plato, but they're not big, and we can't really do much recruiting there. They don't love it, but
Yeah.
it's kind of
So,
interesting. But
you didn't play at high school. So, how did you get connected to esports at college then?
so it's actually kind of a funny story. I didn't plan to come to this college. I planned to go to Springfield with the main Missouri State campus. But because of financial stuff, I was like, I should probably go to 2 year school. Makes more sense to me. And I had some friends that went to a school over that had gone to the esports team. And they told me that I should reach out and just try out. And I signed up for tryouts, tried out, got put on our D2 roster, and then just slowly started moving up the ranks. So it's kind of like all of our recruiting is more of a word of a mouth thing because there's no
Yep.
high schools to recruit from. So it's kind of it has some benefits, I say, but not many. I really wish more programs in the area would have high schools because, or more high schools in the areas would have programs because I've improved so much since I've been here and doing
Mm-hmm.
competitively. I would love to know how good I could be if I'd had, 3, 4 years in high school with it.
Yep. And that is something we're seeing as a lot of states are starting to get their high school programs going up. It is hit or miss with which schools. Here in Iowa, I think we're around 150 of our school districts are in the state league now, but we're still missing some big schools. It's easy for a lot of the smaller schools to get in, which doesn't seem likely, but it is. Um, obviously, you've had some success being fifth nationally Mario Kart, so congrats on that.
Thank you.
I will say that having been coaching Mario Kart for a while is definitely a game that takes a lot of skill, which is kind of funny because I've been playing Mario Kart since I was in college, and we were definitely not skilled. We would just play for fun, and so that's why I don't try to practice with my players because they're way better than I am. You've knew a couple of my former players there at Marshalltown. And again, it's, there's a big skill gap from those who just start playing Mario Kart and those who obviously are top in the nation. Um, so you didn't have a high school, word of mouth to get into the college program. What are some of those skills that you had to learn really quickly to kind of improve or to really play esports instead of just playing video games?
I don't know if it's really a skill, but I definitely got humbled pretty quickly. Because Mario Kart's one of those that like you don't think it can get really like skillful. It's all item luck, that's if you're somewhat good, you can, it's after that's just item luck.
Yep.
No. No, not at all. So like my first semester I was in D2 and I was like, I'm gonna go win a championship. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put in the hours, I'm gonna go win. And I didn't do bad. I think I finished like 16th in D2, but it was kind of just learning to like check myself and is the best at this. And I'm like a very, very competitive person. Like, and I was captain of that, and we fell short of state, sadly. But it was kind of just learning that you're not the top of the food chain, and you need to grind to get there. And learning to put hard work into a video game was definitely an interesting thing for me because I've never been good at video games. Like I can't do FPSs, I can't do team games. I mean, I could do like Mario Kart 44, but so kind of just learning that there's a lot to learn, kind of vibe.
Yeah, there is, but I mean, it takes that time to put in, and obviously you put in that time because there's a lot of things Mario Kart, especially like not only just having to know each track and knowing the best routes to take, but also when to do everything right. I mean, it's not just I'm just going to go and hopefully end up. There's some item luck there, but it's really how you drive, right?
So yeah, it's so Mario Kart now it's what is it? It's 90 something tracks now because they've had all that
Yep.
DLC, which was releasing in my first semester. So that was also a big deal. But so it's learning every single one of those tracks, every single shortcut, because in 1v1 format, one mistake you can ruin your entire race. So then how to catch up if you end up getting hit, because there's always item luck.
Yep.
And then even like in this last semester, I learned how important items are. Not even just item luck, because obviously if you pull a bunch of red shells, you can catch up. But it's learning like bombs are ridiculously good. Boomerangs, if you're in second, are super, super good. And it's
Yep.
learning how to use those and like patience. Like you should just spam out items. That's our newest player. He's really fast. Like I'm really excited to see how he does. I'm graduating this year, but I think next year he's gonna be a monster. Um, but like we had to kind of show him is he was super fast. He grinded time trials. But learning how to use those items is something you just don't think about when you're just playing with friends.
Yep.
And yeah, stuff like that. It's stuff you would never even think about needing to know. But you need to know how to do it perfectly, and if you don't, you lose. Mario Kart is not forgiven.
Yep.
At least not for me. I don't give. I'm terrible with luck. It's a running theme in our joke in our esports team is that I'm
Yep.
so incredibly unlucky.
There is something that feels in esports. So I think you kind of touch on this a little bit. So what are some of those skills that you've learned in esports that you think you can carry out beyond esports?
So I'm a firm believer. So I played football most of my life. I'm a firm believer that most of the things you can take from football can be applied to esports. So a lot for some people it's leadership. I've learned to be a pretty good leader, I think here. I hope so. I hope my team would agree. But leadership skills is learning how to put in hard work. For me, it's learning how to like when you get dealt a bad hand, it's learning how to do good with it. So like, we've all had our fair share of losses that just really sting and you kind of just want to roll over and think about it and cry. But
Yep.
no, the best thing to do is actually get back in the lab, start grinding, do better in the future. And then I mean, even this last time, last semester, this one right before winter break or summer break, I got 0-4 in playoffs by this really talented guy from LCCC, and in nationals I got eliminated by him 4-3, and it was a really really close match. It's just stuff like that where it's like I could have just been like, okay, well I'm never gonna beat him
Yep.
because it really felt like that at the time. It felt like there's no point in doing this. There's people that are way better than me. I can't catch up. But no, I just got in the lab, started grinding, and even though I still lost. I showed a lot of improvement. I'm looking forward to this next season where I think I could do even better. I think I could get higher than fifth. So it's just stuff like that. Like that's the biggest thing to me. But I mean, anything you could do in regular sports usually would translate to esports.
Yep.
Besides that physical aspect, obviously, but
Yep.
it's mental stuff.
Luckily, we don't have to worry about concussions in esports, so that's always
I think
one of my selling points. It's a little safer.
I got my fair share of those. I think.
Yeah, and I'm a huge football fan, but I always will
Me
point
too.
that out. I'm like, hey, here's the reason why we have esports. No one's going to break a leg in esports. If they do, it's because they fell out of their gaming chair. Um, so thinking, so Mario Kart, and this is kind of one of the things we're talking with different states. Like we set up our games differently. A lot of the states we try to set up to translate well to college, but I will say for Mario Kart in Iowa, in our state league, is a team game. Really, that we have four players racing at a time against four other players from another team, and then it's all about placement at the end, trying to see
Mm.
how many we have. So, and we do three kind of rounds of that. We do four tracks three times. And then it's the total points at the end of that. So, how does it work at the college level then? How are you guys competing? How's that set up?
So we do have that 4v4, almost the exact same formatting. But right now it's stuck in D3, which is I think they call it now like the participation division.
Okay.
It's our division where anyone can be a part of it.
Yep.
So you can have alumni, you can have people that haven't even like thought about going to college here, stuff like that. But it's stuck there because they're trying to get the amount of people to the enough rosters to where it can be supported at different levels, like at a D1 and a D3 level.
Yep.
But the main one that we have is 1v1, where it's best of seventh, which I think it used to be best of five, I hear, right before I joined, which sounds awful. Because I think best of seven accounts for one or two luck losses, which is
Yep.
I'm happy about. But it's just each week we have 12 tracks. We have three cups you can choose from, so 12 tracks total. So each week, you're grinding these 12 tracks hard. And you usually want to have your picks because home team will pick the first track, and then after that's the loser's pick. So you want to have, oh, no, they beat me here. Well, I'll go here where I know I'm probably better than them.
Yep.
And that's even like when I talk about Mario Kart, people are like, oh, it's Mario Kart. You can't. It's not that deep. It's not like Overwatch or Valorant. But it's like I know most schools that have really good Mario Kart programs will try and scout.
Yep.
You can't always do it, but you want to find out what kind of tracks they're good at. So like, I won't name schools, but there's certain schools that when we first started our DLCs, they went to all the city tracks that are really convoluted and weird, and no one liked them, so no one played them because no one liked them and no one played them,
Yep.
and stuff like that. Or there's different types of drifting in it. So actually, against I will say schools because they're really good at it, but DACC, they're really good at inward drift. So it's important to know what tracks are bad for inward drift because they are really, really talented at it. So it's stuff like that that goes into it because the formatting is so simple. Stuff like that goes a long way.
Yep. I think a lot of people don't understand that, like that complexity you talk about there, like even the scouting, doing that ahead of time gives you a little bit of competitive advantage. So it's not just the work you're putting into becoming a better racer, it's also knowing your opponent and how to plan for that.
So it can be really hard too because we have 2 games a week, and so you're scouting for different opponents.
Yep.
And sometimes that means you want to be good at different tracks because, like I said, sometimes there's inward drift. Dak has actually been like the pioneer of that. When I first joined, there was no inward drift. Now there's, I think, two Dak players won regionals with inward drift. And so now you kind of want to be ready for that. But then also, Marshalltown is like the goats of regular drifting.
Yep.
So if you have Dak in Marshalltown, that's like worst case scenario. Like let's say that's 2 really talented schools that are both really good at what they do that play very different. So it's little stuff like that. Like, luckily, I've never had to deal with that, but that sounds awful. But stuff like that is just, you don't usually think about it. I don't know why you would if you're not into it or supporting
Yep.
this sport.
Uh, so think about practice real quick. I'm going to touch on it real quick. So when you practice, do you mostly practice alone or do you end up practicing with your teammates?
So it kind of it depends. Now that we've actually just switched head coaches, and so he's still kind of getting into it. So he's kind of assigned team captains as more of like to run each individual roster because it's impossible to know
Yep.
everything about Overwatch and Mario Kart and Smash Bros and all these different things. So I usually end up running, I would say, the practices, and they kind of make sure that we're all there, we're all supported, that we're all doing good. And so we usually do 2 hours a week where we have everyone come in and we do 1v1s against each other because you can't get that anywhere else.
Yep.
Most of our Mario Kart room is pretty close in skill level, so that works out really well for us. And then other than that, we're just supposed to grind time trials as much as possible because that is just the best way to do it by yourself. And then I tell my team to, if you ever get sick of it, because you will get sick of it, play online to remind yourself how Mario Kart's supposed to be played, and it also
Yep.
practices items. So you can kind of say, oh, I'm learning my item sets and learn how to use them better. But really, sometimes you just need a break from time trials.
Yeah, the year that we won state with Mario Kart, it was because our players were doing time trials all the time. Like they knew the tracks.
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't enjoy watching them do time trials because they would go a certain part and reset it. I'm like, okay, you gotta like complete it once, right? At some point, complete a lap. But
That's
they're like,
so
no, I didn't get
real.
that perfect. There's like a microsecond off. Oh, okay. Um,
That's so painfully real.
yep,
Sometimes I have to force myself to finish tracks 'cause I'm like, oh, I messed up that shortcut. I lost half a second. There's no point finishing. I can't beat it.
yep. I actually do miss our time trials with students. So what are the main obstacles you had to overcome as an esports player at college then? Like balancing studies and everything else.
Time management is definitely it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Luckily, with a 2-year college, I'm sure it said this at 4-year too, but your first like 2 semesters are kind of like pre-planned and they're pretty easy. You have all the introduction classes, you have your basics and whatever you're taking, and that kind of eases you into it. But trying to manage like I have a part-time job plus I have college plus now esports, which adds
Yep.
you know it kind of depends on the week, but at least about 5 hours a week I have to be in the lab either for practice or for games. Then add that on to all the practice time I'm trying to put in to get better. on top of 20-hour work weeks, full time as a student. So time management is definitely number one.
Hmm.
It can be really really rough at times, especially like, oh man, I don't know who at the NJC decided to put nationals the week before finals, but that was painful.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. Usually I believe it's sooner. But that kind of, like I didn't get as much practice time as I wanted, which is really painful because I made it so far and I think I could have done better.
Yep.
But it's because I was working on my final essays and stuff because stuff has to get done. And so it's kind of just like managing priorities too. You're a student athlete. Student needs to come first, as painful as it is
Yep.
sometimes. Because like I said, I'd rather be in here grinding Mario Kart than submitting these last second papers, but it is what it is. So that's probably number one. And then the other one is definitely just kind of like esports is new and around here. I think one of the reasons we don't have a lot of programs is because there's some old timers that just don't really think it's a real thing.
Yep.
So that's like tell my family stuff. They're like, "What are you talking about? You get money to play esports?" I'm like, "Yeah, I get a small grant for it." And they're like, "Why?" And so it's kind of like something that's so big to you. A lot of people just don't really get it around here. I'd say within the university, it's really supportive. Like I've talked to like some of the basketball guys, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's sick. Can I join?" And we've had some of the semesters that are on our COD team. Um, but outside of the university, it can be kind of rough because like you value this so much, but they
Yep.
don't. But those are probably the main two things.
There is a stigma and a misunderstanding what esports is and how it connects, and we see this at the high school level, and I think I see it at the college level too. I mean, I think like you talked about, like it's still a shock to some people when I say, "Hey, you can get scholarships to go play esports at college," and I'm approaching double digits of former students of mine after in my 6 years coaching who have either played at the college level on scholarship or been offered scholarships. Because
Mhm.
I've had a couple players who've been offered scholarships, but they want to go to a college that doesn't have an esports program that can offer scholarships. So it's, you look at some of the bigger schools like in Iowa, that's Iowa State and Iowa, University of Iowa. They can't offer scholarships. And so that does, but you look at a lot of smaller schools, Marshalltown being one of them, Simpson, Grandview, Buena Vista. We have a whole slew of schools that are all offering scholarships to go there. It's been fun. Like I love having the signing ceremony when, kids going to say, "I'm going here to go play esports." I'm like,
Mhm.
we're going to take a picture of that and share that out because again, trying to change that viewpoint of what esports is and that it is a real thing and can lead to jobs and careers.
Yeah, it's definitely growing.
Yep.
I definitely say right now, if you're going to go to college to play esports, look at your two-year colleges.
Yep.
The NJCAAE, which is the National Collegiate Association of Athletics and Esports, or something like that, is definitely like the number one and leading the charge to collegiate esports. And I mean, like even for us, we're a satellite campus in Missouri State Springfield, and their team has a very limited number of scholarships they can hand out to it. But they've even been like very interested in being involved with our esports because we're kind of like turning into a farm for them. Sadly, no Mario Kart, but we've
Yeah.
had quite a few Overwatch players go up there, Rivals players also that go up there, and they do great. Um, so it's growing, but it's going to take time, especially in areas like ours where it is just kind of so crazy that like we
Hmm.
don't even have high schools, and like I can't even think of any esports programs that have survived in our area specifically,
Yep.
which is what's it called, Southern Missouri.
Yeah,
So it's
there
growing, but
is
it'll
a
take some
state
time.
league in Missouri, but I don't know where most of those schools go or how many schools they have. I've been trying to talk to them. But like I said, like I know Iowa, we have a big one. Minnesota's getting pretty good. Wisconsin, I
Mhm.
talked with them. They just had their state championship last weekend, and talking to New York, Delaware, California, Texas, seeing the states come around. But again, there's funding issues. It's everything that goes into it.
I mean,
Um,
we've dealt with our fair share. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I can see it sometimes.
yep,
I say there's always that issue, and it's not very easy to get into. I think our first semester they showed me pictures of it. They were literally just running with some old Dell computers they had left in the lab.
yep.
Um, Luckily, I got here when they got a bunch of lab switches we can use, a bunch of gaming PCs, but I definitely understand why you're scared to get into it, but I'm hoping people will soon realize that it's well worth it.
Yep. Well, and now you, I guess, as you're coming to the end of your college career, are you happy that you're going to be done before Mario Kart World becomes the main title? A whole
Yes.
new game to learn, whole new tracks, and riding on walls and bouncing off of cows?
I am not rich enough to even afford a Switch 2 right
Yeah.
now. So I'm very happy that it honestly, I was talking to one of my friends that's also graduating at the same time that's on the team. And we
Hmm.
were like, yeah, I'm so happy that we are leaving at the perfect time.
Yep.
I don't want to learn Mario Kart World. I enjoy it. I think I'm excited to watch it. Like our freshman that came in that I keep mentioning, that he loves Mario Kart World and he
Ugh.
can't wait. And I wish the best for him because I want to see him do great in it. But me, I feel like an old guy talking about like we like our old game, our
Yeah.
game that came out like 10 years ago. But no,
Mario
I'm
Kart 8's been
very
around a long
very happy.
time.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I got to play it, and I hope the best. But I also just feel bad for like so many people that have so many hours in eight,
Yeah.
and I haven't played Worlds, so I don't know how much that translates over. I hope a lot because there's some guys in our league that have grinded.
Yep. No, from my understanding, like I think we're a year away from people. I mean, this could be the last year before World, and my son got a Switch too, and so we played Mario Kart World right away, and I'm like, oh, this is it. I'm done. I can't play. I can't even try. I'm like, I'm watching like the world record races, and I'm like, how are they? I'm like, this is just the skill gap is just going to get wider. Now we'll
It
see how
feels
it
less like
goes.
racing. Like to me, it feels
Yep.
more like like a party game is supposed to be. Like I don't think Mario Kart
Yep.
World's a bad game. But like 8 Deluxe, you feel like you're racing. You feel like this is like, almost like F1 ish on some tracks, where it's like this is intricate. This is a huge, like, Grand Prix. And then
Yep.
World is just kind of like, yeah, you jump off the hoops, then you drift off the sides, then you do 50 like air drifts, where it's like, I don't, that doesn't look as fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I
We'll
haven't
see
played it. Who
how
knows?
far that goes. We'll see how far it goes. Who knows? Maybe we'll all go back to 8. Um, so anything else you want to share, touch on that we didn't talk about?
I don't think so. I think I got everything in. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I like the project. I listened to it on the way to the college this morning, the new episode.
Yeah.
So I'm happy I get to be on. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on. I'm trying to get more people involved. All different aspects, and your perspective is good because, again, not playing in high school, but playing in college and doing well nationally, that's really good. Okay. One last question. So, what's your favorite non Mario Kart game to play?
Ooh, it kind of switches around a lot.
Yeah.
I'd say, ooh, if I was to say like a game that I play on the regular, it would probably be Valorant. I'm awful at Valorant.
Yeah.
But me and my friends love it. We are hard stuck gold, and we probably will be for the indefinite future. But I love it. And if I was to say like my favorite games, just like sit down by myself every now and then, like I'm planning to play during winter break, as I love Tears of the Kingdom. I'll
Yeah.
probably play that to like the fourth time. I love that game.
I know I just started playing that finally myself, so maybe
Oh, you are in for
that'll
a
be a nice thing
treat.
over winter break, you know.
Oh, have you played? You played Breath of the Wild,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want
Tears
to
of the
finish
Kingdom
Breath
is
of the
like
Wild, so I have everything but being Ganon as the last thing to do, just because I wanted to
okay.
do everything else.
I say Breath of the Wild leading into Tears of the Kingdom is like the best experience you can have.
Yep.
Um, have to see how you feel because I know I think Tears of the Kingdom is a better game. My boy says Breath of the Wild. It's a pretty hot topic to talk
Yep.
about within the Zelda community. But it's my favorite game of all time. I love it. You're in for a treat.
That's one of my plans over winter break. So, well, thank you for being on, and well, good luck your next season in nationals. You're competing against some of my former students, so I'll have to cheer nicely. Uh,
I
otherwise,
say I
but good
love when I
luck
get to play
finishing
with
your
you most
season.
of the time.
Yeah, they're Ryan and Roby. Trying to get them on, but I guess I should wait till they actually have some free time. So, good luck at nationals, and everybody pay attention and listen for more episodes. Thank you.